All right.
Yeah, I've realized that there's a subtle expectation something's going to happen,
Yes.
but I can
That's the
see that as
mind.
well.
Good. That's the mind.
Yeah,
It's only the mind. Remember, I said all thoughts.
yeah,
All thoughts. They're wrong.
they're
They're
wrong.
wrong.
I need to digest that one.
Yep.
They're wrong.
They're wrong.
They must be right.
100% wrong.
They're wrong. But surely they're a very analytical mate who I talk to a lot of this stuff about, and his answer would be, well, the mind has predictive power, so you know, if someone chucked me a ball, my mind is predicting where the ball's going to be, and you know, my hand goes up, so it's kind of right.
That's a concept. It's not true.
When you say it's not true, what do you?
It's not true. It's nothing to do with the mind. Catching a ball. Nothing to do with it. I pointed that out to you a moment ago when I said if I snuck up behind you and pinched you on the back,
Yeah.
the experience is there before the mind has a chance to kick in.
Oh, see, by mind you mean the narrator.
The brain is just all a part of the down your spine,
Central nervous system, maybe.
yeah, it's all part of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without one, you couldn't catch a ball. But that
Yeah.
catches the ball, yeah, is this.
But actually, a weird thing then. So one thing I noticed, um, let's say I'm going to run a bath or something.
Yeah.
So I can notice that the thought, oh, I'm going to run a bath, comes after the impulse to do it. The story of it. It's like the mind is creating an explanation for the actions, as it were. And then
Good.
as I'm running the bath and doing stuff, I'm having all these thoughts, this narrative going on in my head, and I think this is weird because there's a real. It almost feels like there's two things going on here.
There
One,
is. There is. There is. However, there is, according to mind.
mm,
What two things could be going on if the mind just collapsed?
when you say collapsed,
Zero thoughts.
well, there would just be the running of the bath.
It wouldn't even be that. You wouldn't even know what a bath was. You would know the running of the bath. You wouldn't know anything.
Yeah, I think that's the bit that terrifies my mind because it's like, well, you're going to go into oblivion.
No, 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 no.
Nothing there.
No, no, no. See, when I call the mind the sixth sense, we
Yeah,
need it.
yeah.
We need it. Like we need the capacity to see, hear, taste, touch, smell. We need it. The only problem with the mind is it's created a pseudo personal self. That's the only problem with it. That's it. Other than that, it's a wonderful instrument, brilliant instrument. It's that, look, the mind, yeah, in the absence of the me, it's the creative sense. It creates.
Mm.
It creates. It's so fucking amazing at creating. It can create a pseudo me that then is believed to be true and real.
To that bit, I need to latch on to that bit because that's the bit I really need to understand. When you say it's believed,
There's
what
no, okay, let me clarify that because I was going to, but there's no believer as such. A belief is just another thought that arises.
Yes.
That's all. So you have a mind, or thoughts, if you like, that are just constantly looping in on themselves
Yes, I
all the
see.
time, yeah? Creating a seeming reality. What would there be if thoughts just completely collapsed? What would there be?
Nothing.
Nothing. Good. Good. Nothing. No thing, more accurately. No thing. But I wouldn't call this awareness nothing. I'd call it no thing, absolutely. All day long, I'll call it no thing. But I wouldn't call it nothing. Yeah. You'll hear some teachers say, you know, nothing is happening. Yeah. And I disagree with that. No thing is happening, 100%. Nothing is happening. It's not even logically sound. And like I said to you a moment ago, when you were deeply into this awareness, I asked you, can you honestly say I am not?
So how can you because even that, you know, the nothing compared to no thing is a concept of the mind, right?
It
Trying
is.
to make
It
sense
is.
of.
But all of this stops when you finally awaken to this that you actually are, as opposed to what the mind is saying you are. All that stops. And you're right. Anything, and I mean anything, we say is wrong. It's wrong, no matter what we say. We're speaking dualistically now. We're using language, concepts, ideas, pointers. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, like, let's assume you finally found what it was you were apparently looking for. Let's call it you awoke, right? Yeah. Where would you be? Where would
Well,
you be?
I can clearly see that when you said it's the false me looking for the me, that makes so much sense to me. And yeah, that fits into
Understanding that there's not even a false me.
yes, that's just another thought in a stream.
Good.
Yeah, I get that too. And actually it's this true seeing of that, as it were, where that drops away. There's
Yeah.
nothing to find. It's revealed in the absence of.
Good. Correct.
Yeah.
Now, what would it possibly be that would finally see the truth?
Well, awareness.
You.
I know it's a concept, but
I'll just quite easily just say you.
yeah.
Not defining what you is, but you hear me right now. Yeah. The me can't hear. Unless you're telling me an animated cartoon character can hear.
So when you say that, because that's obvious to my intellectual brain, because the me is made up of thoughts. How can a thought hear? It can't, right?
And yet there's hearing. So who's the actual hero? If not the me, who's the actual hero?
Yeah, you see, as soon as I do that, there's nothing there. There's no.
There's nothing that can be identified with mind.
No.
See, something dualistic, Ollie, something dualistic
Mm.
can't discover something non-dual.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because if it could,
yeah,
the dual discovers the non-dual,
yeah,
dual's still there, having discovered the non-dual.
yeah,
So you'd still have two. Oh, I've discovered the non-dual.
yeah,
Two.
yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. So the only way the non-dual is discovered is when the falseness of the dual is seen, understood. And that's mind.
I know it's probably just an apparent feeling, but I feel like the evidence is stacking up so strongly that
Yeah.
almost like the foundations of whatever is this sense of me is just being undermined the whole.
Good. That's the exercise. That's what we're doing. Coming to know what you're not.
Mm,
Yeah. Because what's created what you're not is what you are.
mm,
I'm not speaking to Oliver. I'm not speaking to the me character.
mm.
Why would I waste my time? I know full well the me character can't hear.
Is it I know this is a wrong question even to ask, but the fact that I'm only aware of this not your thoughts or whatever, that's a quite a big barrier because it seems to consolidate the belief that I am a separate self because I'm only aware of this. Any tips for that?
Yeah. Let go. Let go. Let go.
Mm.
Yeah. Look, what I discovered, Oliver, was, some of the remaining questions that I had that I didn't find answers to, the answers were finally revealed when the letting go happened.
Yeah. I think I finally understand what letting go means now.
Mm.
Stop using the mind to try and figure it out.
Yeah, you don't need to, because that's being sought is sitting here.
Mm.
Just that this that's being sought has been taken to be Oliver.
Mm.
That's all. Once you know what an Oliver actually is, yeah. And look, the difficulty is this, and you've probably heard me say this before. The difficulty is this: that somewhere around the age of 18 months or 2 years of age, mind starts identifying with this presence, with this aliveness, with this body, with this seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, this consciousness, this awareness, and the mind starts calling this Oliver at around 18 months of age. And it stays that way up until now.
Mm.
And it's like, it's just conditioning. Mind, thoughts, just conditioning. And it keeps being added to and added to and added to and added. And by the time you get to this age, right, we're so fucking convinced that this that's here is me, so convinced. So to unravel it can take a moment. It can take a moment. Most people walking around on the planet, most believe that they are the thinker. No one's ever walked up to them and said, "So you believe you're the thinker, do you?" And they say, "Yeah." And I just simply say, "Well, stop it."
Yeah.
It's that simple. Stop it.
I did an experiment myself with that once. I wrote on a piece of paper, I vow for 5 minutes that I'm not going to think anything. And I put it in front of me. And for the first few thoughts, I was like, okay, it's obviously apparent that, thoughts are just happening. But after about 30 seconds, I started thinking, oh yeah, actually this, yeah, it's quite easy to do that or something like that. And I realized that I'd identified with some thoughts that had come in.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
even though I had this piece of paper in front of me saying, vow not to talk,
Good. That's why I say all thoughts.
yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah, Adi Shanti's said something similar. He doesn't trust any thought that comes in.
It
Yeah, I can.
the irony, Oliver, you know, what we're looking for is this. All we've got to do is now come to an understanding that this is not Oliver. That's all. That's simple. Yeah.
Make it sound simple.
Isn't that well,
But even that, I can hear myself say that from almost a different place. I can't describe it. There's but I think it's Papa G. His advice was just stay quiet, and I use that a lot because I find that really useful to discern that what you were just saying. Am I thinking here? No, because I vowed to stay quiet, so I can't be thinking. This isn't me thinking. Yeah.
I was trying to get you to go quiet from the exercise that we did at the beginning of this. What's this awareness? Delve into that.
Yeah.
Just delve into that. Yeah. And whilst trying to delve into that, you can be aware, no doubt, that mind is saying all sorts of things whilst you're trying to delve into it. Yeah. Ignore them completely. Don't try and stop them, just ignore. You have a much more profound interest than what mind is saying. For fuck's sake, it's all over the shop. Mind. It's all over the place. Yeah. And it creates umpteen different me's in the course of just one day.
Yeah, I can see that.
Different me's. You know. Now, if I ask you, how many of you are there? Intuitively, you just say one. One. And that's true. One. Yeah.
The felt sense you have of yourself, do you identify with that?
It's a trick question. What self? What felt sense of self? You just created a me sitting here then, unbeknownst to yourself. You created one. You made a distinction between my apparent experience and your apparent experience. And what I'm saying is there's no difference. There's zero difference.
Yeah.
The only difference is your mind is saying there's a difference.
Yeah, it was created in a single thought almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you know what you're not, what you are is self-revealing.
Yes.
When you fully, but you got to fully know what you're not fully. Otherwise, it'll keep hanging on. It'll keep hanging on. And when I say it'll keep hanging on, it just means that just thoughts will just continue. I'm a person and I'm still trying to get this. And what haven't I understood yet? What do I need to do? And rah, 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 rah.